Yesterday, a 12-year-old asked me who my favorite artist was. Off the top of my head, I said Rihanna. I then asked him. He said NBA YoungBoy. So you
Facts.
know me, I was intrigued by this. So I asked him, "How do you feel when you listen to him?" He said, "Mad and angry." Okay,
But you want him to say
Well, I say, what's
that's
wrong with that?
fine. That's perfectly
fun
fine. I guess.
fun and insightful.
Hold on, let's continue. So I was like, "Oh, okay. What do you do with those feelings?" I genuinely wanted to know how a 12-year-old brain works. He said, "Oh, I don't really know." So I just said, "Okay," and left it at that. A couple of seconds after, he goes, "Well, I probably take it out on people at school."
What?
That's
She's saying she doesn't have anything. She doesn't have anything to follow up. I don't have anything smart to say, to be honest. I just wanted to share as food for thought. He also said, out of all the rappers he listens to, NLE Choppa is probably the most positive, followed by Little Baby. Um,
I think you
It's
should
a
talk
little
to the
bit
principal.
problematic.
Lord
Yeah,
Young Boy is
that's-
certified.
That doesn't sound good. I would
I
probably
got all
talk
this
to the
anger now.
principal.
Where do I take it out?
Probably on
My
the kids at
classmates.
school. I am going to the principal's office that moment. Excuse me. Yeah, we got one. Yeah, I just talked to him. He told himself. He is playing. If you hear him right foot creeping up the hallway, just understand.
Hey, now we hitting that motherfucker. I wish
It
I had
might
right
be
foot grip in
bad.
elementary school. Oh my!
I mean,
I did. It was called a stinky leg.
I'm not that much younger than you.
I think
Back in my day, we had the cha-cha slide.
I
I'm
grew up.
sorry.
I grew up with a little bit more positive music. I think we all did, to be honest with you. I don't think. Yeah.
No, we didn't. What? You don't
You didn't grow up
lie.
with positive. You didn't grow up with positive.
You
music?
lie. What do you view as positive? What did you listen to?
Well,
'Cause I
first
can
of
tell
all,
you what I was listening to.
with my mom, she ain't allowed that hippity. All right,
That's why I said, what do you listen to?
We listen
Yeah.
to Radio Disney exclusively. All
There
right,
you go.
Radio Disney,
Okay,
the
that
good
shit,
the,
that
the
shit.
good days of R&B and some gospel on Sundays. And then on my dad, I mean, Kanye West, whatever old school rap, Nas, like it was clean rap or whatever. And then even for my uncle, it was like Nas and shit like that.
Let me go ahead and let you know. My stepdad at the time, well, my dad was playing Slick Rick and Jay-Z. That was his thing. My stepfather, Jay-Z, Kanye, some T.I., that type of stuff. My mother, Yin Yang Twins and the East Side Boys, Little John, a lot of down south music. She liked Outkast, stuff like that. UGK, she loved UGK. And then for me, because I was around my mom a lot, and I would hear, Lil Jon and East Side Boys and the Yin Yang Twins. The Whisper song specifically is the one that really caught my ear when I was a kid. Yeah, I had no idea what I was singing, but I was singing it, and that just led into the Soulja Boy era and whatever I started listening to
You
after
don't think
that.
that's better
How
than
many Pokemon did you just name? What the fuck?
You don't think that that's better than like music today? Like that's more positive than music today.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The
Music
Whisper
today.
song is music of today. I don't know if you've heard the Whisper. Have you listened to the Whisper song lately?
What's the
The
whisper?
uncensored version, nigga, not the radio version. The uncensored version of the Whisper song.
What's the whisper?
The chorus is literally wait till you see my dick. Hey bitch, wait till you see my dick. I'ma beat that pussy up. I was a child. I don't know what.
Where were you? And this is a serious question. When the Whisper song came out, where were you listening to it?
In the car, in the backseat with my mother.
Saying unedited.
In the car with my mother.
Okay, so she put you told me
she had the Yin Yang Twin CD that she burnt or bought from the hair salon, and she would put it in her car, and I would be beat the pussy up, beat the pussy up, beat the pussy up, beat the pussy up. It was fun. I didn't see nothing wrong with it at the time. I can see how problematic that is.
Even that one song is I mean that's a Tuesday for Meg Thee Stallion.
And that was a Wednesday for the Yin Yang Twins. I don't know, like that was down their alley.
But I'm saying their whole catalog wasn't that.
Wasn't Whisper song. True. Yeah. Fair.
Sage,
I would say on average, yeah, it is more crazy songs now than it was back then. Fair.
I grew up off of Roddy Ricch and Lil Jon, so yeah, that's my life.
Crazy.
What about
Me-
Pretty Ricky? Pretty Ricky was crazy. I used to listen to Pretty Ricky. What? No, you're shaking your head to Pretty Ricky. That wasn't crazy.
It wasn't as crazy as I want to.
I was trolling at least.
A gulp. I want to touch. I want to stroke. I want you to touch that little dangly thing that's swinging in the back of my throat.
It was literally on that alley. I don't.
But
I think in general, shit has been a little bit more negative, but I don't think it's drastic though. To be honest with you, it's noticeable enough.
You don't think that there are, because there are sections of music that wasn't around even back then. Like drill music wasn't a thing. And mind you, we talking about sexual Damo. I think that's a different conversation.
Pure violence.
There wasn't violent music
like,
back
yeah.
then.
I mean, the worst it got was probably like if you was really a big Gucci fan, I guess. Like the trap music would be the closest thing to drill music, and trap music wasn't just I'm gonna kill this nigga 24/7. They might mention it, but it was obviously they trappers. But that was as worse as it got.
Yeah. So you don't think this music is having an effect? Or truly it's the words. The conversation that I wanted to have was about how words affect people.
That's kind of like the
Yes.
Call of Duty's
Yeah.
making school shooters argument. I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think so either. If I have to stop trolling for 5 seconds.
But you
That's
don't,
all you get.
and mind you, I don't think I'm not making that conversation, although I think that, there are such things as like stepping stones. But you don't think that this could at least sway how you feel? If it's not to school shooting per se, maybe it's just to how you, I don't know, talk to women. If you hear everybody calling women bitches.
I mean, but back then we was talking about throw some D's on their bitch or whatever. Or and the bitch was talking about some fuck this pussy boy, fuck you, fucking right boy. So I mean, it was it really
I think it's
different?
I think it's different when you just consume it like socially, but when you're actually like actively listening to the shit on a daily basis, and this is like a go-to genre of music and shit like that, I think that's when the difference lies. But just in
That's
general,
what they.
I don't know.
Yeah, Trina
But
was
that's what
crazy.
people was doing back then, though. Like, let's not act like niggas wasn't religiously listening to Pretty Ricky or Trina or whatever it was whenever they wanted to. It's not like we grew up in an era before fucking iPods and shit. Like, we had access to music whenever we wanted. I'm saying because we did, that means we were able to listen to that type of music whenever we want.
No.
Just like now.
We grew up in an era without those things.
No, nigga, you must be way older than me.
When you were 12, what grade were you in?
When I was 12, I was 6th grade.
How were you consuming music in 6th grade?
My iPod.
And you had your iPod in all day, every day?
If I didn't get it snatched at school and I could listen to it and sneak it, I had the old trip where you put the fucking headphone through your fucking shirt and would sit in class like this, nigga. Yeah, I was that kid. I would listen to my music all day, every day.
Even
Yo, not gonna lie, when I was in Atlanta, bro, with ZT, ZT had his AirPods on the whole fucking day. I've never seen a person wear their AirPods the whole day listening to music. That shit was crazy.
I think that those are the fundamental differences. What I mean, to be honest with you, like the small things matter.
Mm-hmm.
How we consume music, like B-So just said, ZT had his headphones in all day, like literally will wake up, pop them in, brush his teeth, shower. I'm being this shower, put on clothes, go about his day with just plugged in, and the only time he took them out was when literally when he falls asleep and the shit just falls out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's how people operate. I'm not even just saying him, that's how people operate. When you were a kid, there were definitely times where you could and could not access your music, and with that being said, you still only had X amount of music that you could access.
You must have that basic ass iPod, nigga. My shit
Nigga had 2 gigabytes.
What?
Nigga had 2
Nigga,
that shit got like 400 songs. I don't know.
Nigga,
You
was
would still,
jailbreak nothing.
even if what you're saying is true, because I don't disagree. There is a finite amount. You can say gigabyte.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. In terms of now, you feel I guess kids or whatever can you can have access to easier access to music. I get that. Yes, I'm not disagreeing that there's not an easier access to music now. I'm not disagreeing with that, but what I'm saying is to make it seem like we're our parents, and well, most people are parents but niggas have Walkmans and shit. Like, nah, we're past that. There were plenty of people that were able to listen to music damn near just as much as people are now. Obviously not with AirPods and shit like that, but we had the sweatshirts back in the day, the hoodies that had the fucking earbud piece in them that you could get. Ton of kids in my school had those. We found out
it was ass.
That no one is talking about quality. We're just talking about how you're consuming the music. But I'm just saying that shit was ass. I had that shit for like a week. It rained, nigga. Hated that shit. But it was done. They didn't tell us that. But hella niggas had it. There was ways niggas tried to sneak music, shit like that. I can remember being in elementary school on my fucking BlackBerry and to listen to music. I mean, nigga, it wasn't Apple. And hey, nigga, I'll be in the back of the car, my mama playing music, my stepdad playing music. I got the phone at the speaker, nigga, recording all the songs on the radio. And as soon as I get home, I'm nigga listening to music like that. Or I'm at school, I'm listening to music like that in elementary school. But that's how I did it. There was access to music. It just wasn't as big as it is now. It wasn't as much weight as it is now.
That's what I'm
But that doesn't mean just because there wasn't as wide as access doesn't mean we weren't able to listen to music just as much. That doesn't correlate though.
It kind of does.
If there's
Can you just say the original take you had, Omar? Like what's your original take?
It's about how much we consume, what we consume, and to the extent that we can get it. I think that technology has progressed tremendously, right? Mm-hmm. And I know Sage and B-Souls are a little bit younger than me and Damo.
Yeah, I can tell. Holy shit!
So when I was younger, even in my elementary school days, because I think when y'all were in elementary school, B-Souls and Sage, y'all had iPods or no?
Elementary school, no.
Sage?
Actually, yeah.
Y'all had to. Yeah,
damn, let me stop trolling. I had an MP3,
even in the Philippines.
Bro. I had an MP3, bro.
You had an MP3?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that those things are definitely, even the fact of like an MP3 or an iPod or whatever is different than what kids have today. Because my cousin in elementary school with an iPod has access to streaming services and visual things where they can look up and consume anything, whether it's music or visual. The stuff that we had access to as children was much more limited and to an extent tamer than the stuff now. Again, while you sang, you recorded the songs on the radio. That's a difference than WAP. We gonna what's it? No Exposing Me by Cash Doll. FNF, and outside of that, whatever NBA YoungBoy song, whatever K-Flock song, whatever other drill artist song where they're talking about killing and stealing and poking and choking and deep throating. And then even with what you see on like TV, the TV is different. I don't feel like the TV is different. Am I tripping?
I haven't watched TV in forever, so I don't know.
You talking about cable?
Yeah, even cable has changed. I ain't gonna lie, but even like the access. Well, yeah, we didn't have HBO Max back then. You had to pay for it. I was expensive as well. But at HBO Max, Netflix, Hulu, all these things that show more like sexual imagery. I know I sound like
but you
don't think
I don't know, man.
Oh, go ahead,
Sage. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I say, you don't think the parents of today is essentially doing the same shit though? I mean, you don't think granted, we see a lot of fucked up ass kids on the net, but you don't think the parents of today is essentially telling them, yeah, you're not listening to that song, yeah, you're not watching this or that or whatever. Like, people still use the radio. I ain't heard the radio in like 3 years, but I know people still turn on the radio, and every other time I turn on the radio, it's like Bruno Mars or some shit on there. So I'm just saying, I think it's harder. I think it's harder to police that action as opposed to like, if I was your mom, Sage, why wouldn't I just be your dad? Jesus Christ. But if I said, fuck the whole dick.
If I was your mom, Sage. If I was your mom.
If I had you in my belly for 9 months. All right, bro.
If I was your parent, Sage, I could take your iPod and I could physically go through the songs and identify like what you've been listening to. How would I do? You can download songs on Apple Music or whatever, but like, how could I stop you from streaming these songs? Besides, like taking away your ability,
The same way.
I'm sorry.
The same way you would do it back then. You would just
No,
take the
really.
device. There was no way.
No, and
Bill-
you,
Yeah, you can either take the device or they have child restrictions now in the settings.
Yeah,
now,
like it'd be
and
the
I'll say
same
this
thing as
too,
back then.
The other thing is, if they took my device back then, and you know, I didn't have a phone back in elementary school, whatever. It's combined now. I can't. How am I take your phone? How can I take your phone?
What do you mean?
Easily the same.
Bitch, you give me that shit. What the fuck?
I know when I looked up
Telling your
big
child,
booty twerking compilations
Yeah.
on YouTube when I was 9 years old, and my mom walked in the room, mink, mink. Oh man, I don't know. I'm just saying if
I think it's harder to take a phone than an
Or
MP3.
you can fucking block their Wi-Fi access or some shit. There's workarounds if we really wanted to.
Just
to
take the
be honest.
phone. It's
You
not.
block
It's not.
you're talking about things that you could control in the home. How are they blocking the Wi-Fi access to school?
Good point. Good point.
What school?
They
gotta be
connect.
there.
They
You gotta
let
be
y'all
there.
connect to school Wi-Fi because they damn sure ain't let me do it. Connect to that
That
shit.
shit sucked at my school, so that shit
They
didn't
ain't
matter.
never let us connect to the
Gummo,
school Wi-Fi in my
Gummo,
school.
it's different. It's different though. We was doing stuff on pen and paper. Them niggas they have Chromebooks now. They have to be on.
They have Chromebooks in the school that they use to rent it by the school. They don't. The school doesn't give. At least I don't know
Yes,
what
they
uppity school
do.
you know. They give niggas their own personal Chromebooks to take
I
home
will
and
pull
use
out
every day.
somebody left a Chromebook at the Airbnb. I will pull it out if I didn't throw it away.
They
They
do that in
give you a
Massachusetts.
they
They give you
give you a
iPads that you can
Chromebook.
take home.
Yes,
Yeah.
they give you.
Certain schools will, but on average, the average motherfucker in a public school is not being given.
Go ask some kids.
I think
Go ask
it's
some
it's
kids.
more
I'm
common now.
looking in
Damo.
chat right now. I'm looking in chat right now. What do we mean?
You're talking about
like
one
I'm a little lit,
nigga.
but chat
You're talking
cooking.
I'm
No,
not
but
talking
they
about
be
one
blurring
nigga.
shit.
It's
I'm trying to
multiple
figure it out.
people. I've been looking at chat
No,
this
no,
whole
no.
time.
School Wi-Fi has them blocked. You got to ask them how old they are. I don't know if there's
True.
And mind you, this is I don't disagree with what some of them niggas are saying. I don't disagree with that. And even Dwayne, they got blocked websites. I don't think that they don't have blocked websites, Dwayne. What I'm saying is you still have Wi-Fi access to school. Now, when I was in school, when I was in school, there was Wi-Fi, but that was like towards the end of like high school or whatever. Niggas in middle and elementary school have Wi-Fi access.
Okay,
And I'm not
shit is more accessible now. But what's your point though? Like, is it a bad
Yeah,
thing? Is that what you're
because
saying?
not even that. Because at first when we were talking, it was just about the ability to have access to music and the amount of music you can consume. At least when we first start arguing. But now you're making it be a case of it's the type of music that's out now in abundance compared to what was out then. Which I mean, I could say fair, but again, I was originally arguing the accessibility to music. Yes, there's not 8 different platforms you can go to listen to music. Well, back in the day, if you wanted your own music, every fucking soul knew to use LimeWire. Either you used it, your older brother or cousin used it, or you knew somebody, a family friend, knew how to use it, and that's how you getting your music from LimeWire. It was an access to music, but it was
We're
through
agreeing-
LimeWire, not
we're-
LimeWire, Netflix, and this, that, and the third.
We're agreeing to the same essential points. Even
I
if
thought
you
the
got-
oh, go ahead. Finish. Your point.
even when you put caveats on it, music is more easily accessible today than it was.
True. True.
Yeah.
Same thing with any other form of media. It's easier accessible today than yesteryear, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
next
yeah.
point that I would want us to agree on to continue the conversation. If you don't think it is, then that's fine. Do you believe the content matter has changed to get, let's just say, slightly worse?
Yes, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. I can agree with
Truthfully,
that.
I
I
don't
can
know
agree with that.
about that. I mean, the only thing I say is female rappers turn from trying to get the guy by any means possible into I have a fat ass titties and finesse a nigga. In terms of male rap, honestly, it's kind of like the same to me. I think it's just a different element to it. Like nowadays we'll talk about like I'm a shooter nigga or some shit, but back then they talked about like beating a nigga ass.